DreAllDay.com.
Dre Baldwin, DreAllDay.com. Let's talk today about accurate diagnosis. One positive thing, listen, I'll tell y'all up front, I am not a fan of hospitals, and definitely not hospitals and the whole American medical system. I talked about this in previous videos, is all set up in such a way to keep you dependent on the system. It's not that doctors and nurses are bad people, but the way the system is set up, and they are products of the system because they have no choice but to do what they're told, at least when you work in a hospital. I'm not a big fan of them because of the way the system is set up. However, one positive that I can tell you of doctors, at least ones who are worth their weight, is that a good doctor should be able to diagnose what the actual problem is. Anytime you have any kind of physical ailment or issue and you go to the doctor's job is to identify what actually the real problem is, so at least you know what needs to be solved. Now, there are times, and this is the reason why I don't mess with the medical industry, and that's not even what this video is about, but there are times when a doctor will diagnose that you have a problem, but then their solution to the problem is something that is way extra compared to what you actually need. And I told that story in a previous video. I won't tell it here, but the whole point is this. What this is really about, this video, is about you have to be in possession of accurate diagnosis of what your issue is anytime you have a challenge. Anytime things are not working the way that you want them to work. The most important piece is that, yes, identifying that things are not going the way you want, that's probably the most important piece. The next most important piece is what is actually causing the problem. The issue that I find with a lot of professionals is that you are misdiagnosing the issue. And when you misdiagnose the issue, you will be solving for the wrong thing. You're solving the wrong problem. For example, I've had entrepreneurs in my mastermind programs who will have the problem of they're trying to sell some course or some training or some framework or brand that they created, and their problem is not making money. Nobody's really buying it. They're not generating the revenue that they want to generate. And looking at the situation, they think that their problem is they just need to get better at selling. So they'll come to me and they'll say, Dre, all right, well, what's a better sales pitch that I can use for this product, because clearly the sales pitch that I'm using is not working. All right, some of you might think this is your problem, when the real problem is not that there's anything wrong with your sales pitch. The problem is it doesn't matter what sales pitch you have because the product sucks. In other words, you have a trashy offer, so it doesn't matter how you sell it, nobody's going to want to buy it, and it's never going to make the kind of money that you want to make with it, simply because this is not the right product. You are selling the wrong product to the wrong people, so no pitch is going to fix that issue. You get what I'm saying? Another example is back when I was playing ball, I remember I used to at one period I started to go running out on the beach in South Beach, and I would run. I'm not talking about like Miami Beach, I'm talking about on the sand beach, like the sand beach. So I would run on the sand, and the thing about sand is very uneven. So if you run on it a whole lot, depending on your body type, this doesn't happen to everybody, but depending on your body type, if you run on sand a lot, it causes like imbalances with your knees and your joints and stuff like that. And that's what happened to me. So my knees started bothering me a lot. And when I started telling my trainers what kind of stuff I was doing, one of them told me, like, yo, you might have to stop running on that sand all the time. When I thought, before I had talked to my trainer, my knees were starting to bother me. I'm starting to think, all right, well, maybe I'm just not training hard enough. Maybe I'm not stretching enough. Maybe I'm not foam rolling enough. Maybe I'm not giving myself enough rest. Maybe I need to ice my knees more. Maybe I need to just, instead of running on the sand, let me run on the, run bleachers and stuff like that. So I kept doing the same amount of workload. I just did it in a different way. The problem was the alignment of my knees was thrown off by running on the sand. So what I needed to do was a bunch of realignment work. Then I could get back to working out however I wanted to, probably not on the sand anymore. But the point is, I misdiagnosed the problem, and I just kept working hard on something that was already broken. That was not the right solution. I misdiagnosed the issue. So for many of you out there, this is the reason why, I say this all the time in my material, this is why you need to have a coach. This is why every high-performing individual, from professional athletes to high-level entertainers to business professionals, all have coaches. Not because they're dumb, not because they can't do things, and the reason that you have a coach is not because you are allergic to doing the work. A lot of people think you get a coach because the coach is going to make you work harder. No, that's not the purpose of a coach. Now, some things that the coach does is going to help you be more accountable and make sure you show up and do the stuff you're supposed to do and kind of give you a kick in the ass when you need it. Yes, the coach does that on some levels. But one of the main things that a coach does, everybody, especially for high performing individuals, that means people who are already doing their thing. That means somebody who is already making money, you are already successful, you are already at a level above most people, even if you didn't have a coach. The reason those people get coaches is not because they need somebody to tell them to go to work. They are going to go to work with or without a coach. What the coach does is diagnoses issues accurately in a way that the person by themselves may never be able to. And again, it's not because the coach is necessarily smarter than the person, the client. It's because the coach can see what you can't see about yourself. The concept you should keep in mind is you can't see yourself in the mirror. There are certain things about you that you can never diagnose because you can't see all the angles of you because you're you. But other people can see angles on you that you can't see, and they can diagnose things that you would never be able to diagnose simply because you don't have eyes in the back of your head. You get what I'm saying? This is one of the reasons why you need to have a coach. Another reason you have a coach is because whatever it is that you do, like your main thing, that the money maker that you do, you need to be focused on doing that all the time. And then you need to be giving a coach the job of looking at everything else that you're doing. So you do the main thing, let your coach look at everything else so you can stay focused on the thing that's your main money maker, the golden goose that lays those golden eggs. This is why you need to have a coach. So any of you who doesn't have a coach, if you plan on being a high performing individual, or those of you who are high performers and you know you are, but you don't have a coach and you know you need one, or you need to start looking for one like yesterday. All right, so let this be the permission that you need to go do that. So with that said, text me so you can get my motivation text. We'll be sending it out weekly or daily or somewhere in between. Right now, we're just trying to figure out what the number is going to look like with the text communities, because they changed the pricing structure on everybody because they're trying to block the spammers. My number is 305-384-6894 to get the motivation text. And go to workonyourgame.net to get my free training. Those of you who are at the 6-figure level, you want to get to the 7-figure level without running yourself into the ground in the process. There is a way to do that, and there's a strategy and system for doing it. Go to workonyourgame.net. The training is completely free. At the end of the training, I will tell you how, if you would like me or someone on my team to help you implement the system that we run, then we can talk about that. But the training is completely free. That's at workonyourgame.net. Work on your game. Dre all day.